Hey guys, it's WeedBoofer420. Welcome back to the channel. So today I got my 2011 September, whatever you want to call that format, Planeswalker format, Infernity deck. I've been working on making a list that I really liked, and I finally came up with this. And I wasn't expecting to make this video right away because these weren't supposed to be here till next month, but I just got them today. So it's very hype. These are collector's rare Archfiends. OCG gets all the cool shit. I don't know why we can't get that stuff here in TCG. It's pretty sad. And then I also got some really fresh Trishul sleeves from a guy in a Facebook group. Can't remember your name, I'm sorry, but shout out to you. These sleeves are so sick. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. So 3 Archfiend. I'm gonna explain most of these cards because some of you haven't probably seen Infernity since 2014 before they died on the ban list. But Archfiend's insane. It's like the heart and soul of the deck. So when he's special summoned, if you have no cards in your hand, you can search any Infernity card, including himself. He's non-once per turn, and then he also has the effect where if you draw him and he's the only card in your hand, you can special summon him. So he's really good top deck, just like in the grind game, like top Keck for game, like it's ridiculous. 3 Necromancer, another staple 3 of. So if you have no cards in your hand, you can summon any Infernity from your graveyard. Very powerful, very abusable. 2 Mirage. So Mirage, if you have no cards in hand, you can summon up to 2 Infinities from your grave. I know it has to be 2, my bad. But he also has a clause where if he's in the grave, you can't special summon him from the grave. So you think, oh, you can't abuse this, but no, I'm going to show you a combo then where we just abuse this and use this multiple times in one turn. Tuners of the deck, the 2 Archfiend, and then the 1 Beetle. So it might seem weird to play 1 Beetle, like why not play a Plague Spreader? We played Beetle because he's a searchable level 2 tuner. So that's why you want to play Sober Plague. This card can be a vanilla monster and we don't give a shit. But I'll go over its effect anyway. So if you have no cards in hand, you sack it to summon up to 2 Beetle from your deck. So it thins your deck out, helps you make level 9s. And then Avenger is in a monster you control destroyed by battle. And he's in your grave with no cards in your hand, you can special summon him and he copies the level. So it can help you just survive, but being able to copy levels can help you push out really random synchros. And then these like staple dark monsters, kind of like generic support, Armageddon Knight, Stygian, and Dark Grepher. Stygian's effect is when he's in the grave, you can banish him to summon a fiend from your hand. And then Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher are pretty self-explanatory. But before I played the second Grepher, I played this card. This card's really fucking bad. So this is Infernity Inferno. You discard up to 2 cards to send the same number of Infernity cards from your deck to the graveyard. So it does what the deck wants to do, but you can't use it turn 1, which is why I cut it. Dark Grepher's a lot better, so don't play Inferno. I'm going to play the 1 Infernity Launcher. Launcher has an effect where you can, once per turn, send an Infernity monster from your hand to the grave. And if you have no cards in your hand, you send it to the grave to summon up to 2 Infernities from your graveyard. It's very strong. That card has been at 1 for as long as I remember. I can't even imagine like when this deck came out, people were playing 3. Staples, Monster Born, Dark Hole, Mind Control, no Heavy Storm. We're a back row deck. You don't want to blow yourself out. Rhoda to search for her. Warrior, Bach, Toolbox, Foolish Burial, 1 for 1, and Book of Moon. Just a bunch of 1-ofs. There's a lot of 1-ofs in this spell lineup, which is kind of cool. And then 3 MST just to make up for a lack of Heavy Storm. But if you want, you could play Inferno over the 3rd. You could play, I think it's called Return, not Return from a Different Dimension, but there's one that summons a Banished Dark. That card's also pretty good. 2 Call to Haunt works really well with our Archfiends, Necromancers, Armageddon Knights, just very solid card. 2 Bottomless, self-explanatory, and then Mirror Force, Torrential, and Starlight Road just protect us from stuff like Heavy Storm. Infernity Break, and 3 Barrier. So Break is, if you have no cards in your hand, you can banish any Infernity card from your grave to pop a card on the field. What's really good about this is that you can banish your launcher. And then you have 3 Barrier. Barrier is basically a searchable Omni Negate. So if you have no cards in your hand and a face-up attack position Infernity monster, you can negate a spell trap or effect. Very strong. And then last but not least, the Solemn Brigade. These are probably the best traps in the format by far. And we get to play 6 of them with Barrier, which is nuts. Extra deck, we play the 1 Armory Arm. It's pretty much a staple synchro. Catastor, Stygian Surgeons. Surgeons is a mini BLS. So if he destroys a monster by battle, he goes up to 3k and can attack again. The 1 Brionac. Brionac's not once per turn in this format. So it's a really key thing to remember, especially in the combo when I show you. But it's really, really stupid. 1 Black Rose. I wasn't going to play this card at first, but a lot of times I really feel like you need this card. I almost cut it for something like a Mistworm, but you can make it with cards like Reborn, Mind Control, when Avenger copies a level. It's really nice. So it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Or in this case, have it and not be able to fucking use it. More staples, so Stardust, Colossal Fighter, and Scrap Dragon. Some people played Dark End Dragon, but I like Scrap because we already play the Reborns, and you can just pop Reborn. So, not Reborn, Call the Haunted. Same diff. 1 Infernity Doom Dragon. This card's basically Volcasaurus if you have no cards in your hand, so you can destroy a monster your opponent controls and then they take damage equal to the attack. I believe this is Italian, I'm not sure, I got this off my buddy Josh. It's really fucking beat up, but you know, it does the job. And then 300 Eyes. 100 Eyes is what allows us to do the loops and abuse Mirage. So you banish a dark from your grave and then he copies its effect till the end of the turn. So you make this, copy Mirage, sack, just really stupid, just leads to a bunch of card advantage. And then Trish as the last synchro. Trish is really strong, he can summon it multiple times per turn sometimes. It's just a blowout card. And then for XYZ is the 1 Levier and then the 1 Utopia. So Levier is part of the loop combo, but then also just being able to summon back shit you banish off 100 Eyes anyway. It's really good. And then Utopia, I wasn't playing this originally, but there are some cases where I have some level 4s on the board that can't run over anything, or I really need to get Archfiend back into the grave. So in some really niche situations, you can make this negate its own attack to dump Archfiend, and then you can call the Haunted it back to get a search for a break or something, which is pretty neat. Sometimes comes up, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to jump over to computer and show you guys a cool combo right away. And shout out to Kerwin's Game Store. My boy Steve owns that place, so go check them out at KGS Online, I think is a new site. So, yeah.
Alright guys, so getting into the loop combo, all you need is these guys in Graveyard and then Mirage. So you can do this turn 1 if you open really lucky, at least like 2 of these, and then like your 1-for-1 and Dark Rever. But in this case, we're not doing that, it's just set up, because this combo isn't going to happen every game, but it's something that's really cool. So you normal Mirage, and then you're going to sack it for your Necromancer and your Archfiend. And then Archie's going to activate, and then you're going to search out your launcher. Go ahead and activate launcher. Then we'll go ahead and use Necromancer, and then that's going to summon out our Avenger. Konami Lost Art Avenger, please. That'd be cool. We'll sync for 8 to summon 100 Eyes, and then 100 Eyes is going to banish our Mirage to copy its effect, sack itself, and then again summon out the Necromancer and the Archfiend. Archfiend will activate. We're going to search out our second Necromancer, and then we can discard it off launcher. Then we'll use Necromancer's ability to special summon Avenger. Then we'll use these two to make a level 5. So we'll just do Surgeons. Then we'll do our launcher to sack itself and summon Avenger and the second Necromancer. Remember, this one's used already. Then we'll sync sync for 6 to make our Bionic. And now remember, this is the Dawn once per turn Bionic, so ignore all this shit. And we'll do Necromancer here to special summon out the Archfiend. And Archfiend is going to go ahead and search us our third Necromancer. overlay these two for the Levier. Then we'll use Levier's effect to summon the Banished Mirage. Now we're going to use Bryonic to discard Necromancer to bounce the Archfiend. Then we'll use them again to discard the Archfiend to bounce Bryonic. Then we'll use Mirage to summon out double Necromancer. So we'll use the first one to summon our Archfiend, and then Archfiend is going to grab us our first barrier. Set barrier to clean up our hand. Then we'll use Necromancer to special summon the Avenger, and then we'll make 100 Eyes number 2. Use this effect to copy Mirage. Sack itself to summon double Necromancer. Use the first one to special summon out Archfiend. Archfiend is going to activate, and this is where we grab Beetle. Fucking lag. I hate how Dual Book always lags, but whatever. Now, again, we overlay the two used Necromancers for Levier. And then we're just going to activate Levier right away, just to get our Mirage out, so we can get Beetle in the grave. So then we'll use Bryonic to pitch Beetle to bounce Levier. Then we'll use the Necromancer to summon Beetle, and then this is where we make the first Trish. Trish activates, rips a card from our opponent's hand, and then we use Mirage to summon double Necromancer. Okay, so then first Necromancer is going to activate, special out Archfiend, and then Archfiend is going to grab a card for us to discard. I want to go for the second Archfiend here because it's really useful for at the end of the combo. And then we'll just use Bryonic to discard that to bounce. Oop, fuck, I can't get that back. Fucking god, alright, hold on. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to pitch Archfiend to bounce the Trishula and not fucking put it in on our opponent's side of the field. So if we use this guy, we're going to use Necromancer to summon Avenger one last time. And then we will sync for our final 100 Eyes. 100 Eyes will copy Mirage, sack itself, summon double Necromancer. Use this one here, summon out Archfiend. Then we just have to search a card to discard, so I'm going to grab the Avenger, just because Avenger's better to have in the graveyard than the third Archfiend, because we can always top cack our opponent. Then we shall overlay these two to make Levier. Use Levier's effect to summon Mirage. And then pitch the card we added to bounce Levier. Use Necromancer to summon Beetle a final time. And then we'll sync for 9. Summon our Trish. Rip another card. Activate Mirage. Summon out our Necromancer and our Archfiend to trigger Archfiend again. And grab Barrier here. And we'll use Necromancer to summon the second Archfiend one last time, and then Archfiend will grab either the third Barrier or the Infernity Break. Just grab Break here. And yeah, that's the combo. So you get to rip 2 cards, you search 2 to 3 Omni Negates, and then you have Aura, just Destruction. Very powerful combo. So thank you guys for watching. Every like this video gets, it increases your luck of not having to judge called on you for setting monsters in your spell and trap zone when playing this deck. Okay, thanks, bye.